Well, we're back, and now, of course, we're going to speak to the upcoming games for this weekend. And we'll start off the action with the Sunday game, New Orleans at Chicago. Martin?
New Orleans look pretty good. They have yet to lose a game. They're 4-0 and they look very good at the moment. Chicago, on the other hand, just lost a game, and I think it's gonna stay this way. So I think it's New Orleans game to lose.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that, Martin. I think New Orleans looks pretty next to the Denver Broncos and the Seattle Seahawks are right up in the top three teams. Drew Brees is on fire again once again this year. He's got an offensive line that's protecting him. He's got great receivers, and the defense is playing a Sean Payton defense. And this is typical New Orleans State football. I don't see Chicago pulling out some, any given Sunday miracle. I think Chicago's got pretty well beat up last weekend playing against Detroit, and I think they're still licking their wounds.
I understand both of those arguments, and I like New Orleans a lot. Actually, one of my favorite teams with Drew Brees there, but I'm going to give the nod to Chicago at home.
Going on a limb.
Yeah, I think that they step up. They've got the defense that obviously didn't show this last week, but I think they're going to find a way to keep the ground game going, keep it close and controlled, and pull it out at the end at home.
Well, if you keep Brees off, keep New Orleans offense
that
off the field, it's a very good chance to win.
That helps a lot. Next, New England at Cincinnati.
Boy,
Difficult one. I wouldn't have thought Cincinnati would have lost last week. They did. They managed to. They're still in the lead in their division, at least for a tight lead. And also before last week, I just said it before, I wasn't convinced of New England. I thought they would have started a losing streak, but they still are 4-0. And as before with New Orleans, they're going to be 5-0 after this week.
I'm going to have to disagree with you, not just because I'm a Patriots fan, but Cincinnati played a resurgent Cleveland defense last week, and where they came from, I don't know, but they played top-notch football. After last week's performance, the Patriots going into Atlanta and winning the game, I see them doing the same thing in Cincinnati this week. I think the defense, it'll be a more defensive struggle than an offensive struggle. And I think it'll probably be 27-20, something along this line, but I see the Patriots going to Cincy.
Actually, do agree with me.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, once again, I'm going to be the dissenter here.
Yes.
I guess, at some point, there are teams that I see as being undefeated, and there are teams that I don't see, and
Patriots were one of them.
the Patriots are one of those teams, and you'll see that I feel the same way about Kansas City. I just don't think they can maintain the push to stay undefeated per se, especially now that Miami's lost one. It's silly, but I see New England taking a little bit of a breather. They ramp it down a little bit. Cincinnati is going to be fired up after losing.
Well, they got
Cleveland.
questions on the defensive front line since the injury to Wilfork. That might cause them some trouble. But they got a couple backups. We got a number 6 round pick that seems promising.
Anyway, I'm gonna go with Cincinnati taking it at home. Next up, the weekly how long do we want to spend talking about Jacksonville segment. This time they're playing St. Louis, so at least it's worth
Playing
talking
in
about
St.
for
Louis?
a moment. They're in St. Louis, so yes.
Yeah, so this is going to be a short one on Jacksonville again for me, because I just see them as the 32nd best team in the NFL, which in any other league might be a good thing, but in the NFL it's just you're the worst team and you're playing on the road, and that's why you're going to lose.
Yeah, they're playing against the Jeff Fisher defense as well. I think they don't. And St. Louis came off a tough loss this past week.
I think the best news right now, if you're a Jaguars fan, is that the NFL doesn't have relegation.
Exactly.
Baltimore at Miami. The Dolphins bounce back after a tough
I
Monday
see
night
the
loss.
Dolphins bouncing back for sure. I don't see Baltimore. Baltimore's playing decent ball right now, but I don't see Miami losing 2 in a row. They need to keep pace with the Patriots, who are going to win this week, as we just agreed on.
Some of us agreed on.
I see Miami playing very well at home, and I see Tannehill getting back in stride.
Yeah, I actually have a hard time imagining that the Baltimore will lose 2 in a row, especially in the books. They should be the favorite in this game. On the other hand, Tannehill is playing a good season up until now, and it might be a tough one, but I'll go with a road team. I'll go with Baltimore in this one.
I'm going Baltimore as well. I figure, even though I'm not a big fan of Flacco, there's no way he throws 5 picks again in this game. And with the Baltimore defense again starting to play like the Baltimore defense of old, I think they find a way to pull it out at Miami. Philadelphia at the Giants. This is another one of those somebody's got to win it sort of games.
I see the Giants pulling off their first win. It'll be a close one, maybe down to a field goal or a last-minute possession, but I see the Giants finally. Eli Manning cannot keep throwing these watermelons up in the air like this. Eventually, he's going to connect with someone, and they're going to get in the end zone. And I just don't. And with the Philly and the Eagles and the Giants hate each other. This goes back 50 years, and I just don't see the Philadelphia Eagles going into New York and winning. I just don't see it.
Tough call here. Really tough call. I'd go for a tie if I could.
Yes.
Giants haven't played any way that you could think they're going to win any game easily. On the other hand, Philly, they still got a great offense. They put up stellar numbers. The Chip Kelly offense is a thing that it's fun to watch, and they could pull it off in New York. But I go with you actually there that at some point they have to start winning, and maybe This is the one. This is the time.
I'm going to be the outlier all
You've been doing
week.
this
all week. I'm going to be the outlier here. I'm going to go with Philadelphia. Maybe it's because I watched the Giants play this last week, and I watched just how completely they unraveled when any adversity came their way. Of course, the same could be said of Philadelphia against Denver, but that was at Mile High, and Peyton just went crazy on him, and he's been doing that to everybody. I just don't see I think the Giants they'll find a way to come together. Maybe after they go 0-8 and they'll win 8 at the end, and they'll still be there at the end of the season like they always are somehow.
Yes.
But I just don't think it's this week. I think one more week of losing for the Giants. Next, Detroit at Green Bay. Norris, NFC Norris division.
I think this is Green Bay because they are coming off a bye week, so they had some more time to rest. Aaron Rodgers is not going to put up a second game like he did in week 3. It was awful to say the best. And that's, even though Detroit looked pretty bright last week, I think it's going to be Green Bay this week.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Martin. I see Detroit had a tough game last week against Chicago. A very physical game against Chicago last week, and now they're going into Green Bay, and you got Aaron Rodgers. I'm not going to put my money against Aaron Rodgers, not in Green Bay.
I agree.
Whoa!
Wow!
Green Bay takes it. Green Bay takes it. Kansas City at Tennessee. I'm going to lead off, and again, even with Jake Locker out, I think Tennessee wins this one. I think Kansas City falls. The emotion of the start, all the NFC East rivals that Reed has been leading his team up against has been great, and they've been running on a lot of that. But now on the road against a team with a massively improved defense and with a backup that's no slouch, I see Tennessee pulling off the home win and beating the Chiefs.
Yeah, it'll be a close one. It's defense. It's the two unsung defenses. The one before the beginning of the season, you had your idea. You had your pretty good idea that Kansas City would have a pretty good defense under Reed, but nobody expected Tennessee to come out like this. And I think only because of playing at home in Nashville that the Titans will pull this one off. It'll be a close game. It'll probably be the first loss for your Chiefs,
Probably.
but it will be a close game.
I think everything you said is right.
Except?
Also the fact that they don't have Jake Locker for the game. But I just see that this will be the reason that they're going to lose this game. So I think it's going to be one more time Kansas City.
Well,
So you got to be happy about
I
that.
hope you're
but,
right. I'd be happy to be wrong about this particular prediction.
Yeah, but it's going to be a tough one and a close one, I think.
Now, in what may be one of the best games of the week, definitely in a very exciting matchup, we've got the Seahawks taking on the Colts, who, of course, thoroughly dismantled the Seahawks' closest competition in the West when they played the 49ers a couple of weeks back. What do you think?
Well, I don't remember that one game.
No, it's just conveniently forgotten, wiped from the memory
somehow
banks.
it seems not to have happened, so I don't know where this loss comes from on our record. But anyway, no, seriously, I think Indianapolis will be the one team to beat the Seahawks there. Seahawks has had pretty close games, especially on the road twice already, and they're going on the road again, and I think this time they're not going to pull it off again. So
No, I disagree. I see the Seahawks blitzing Luck all day long, putting pressure on Luck all day long. And I see the Seahawks coming out of Indianapolis and winning this game.
I'm going to go with the Colts at home. Both really good teams, both teams that are firing on all cylinders, so it's not going to be a big surprise if it goes the other way, but I'm going to take the Colts at home. After that, we have Carolina at Arizona, which is nearly as compelling. What do you guys think about that?
I would say Arizona because Carolina can't stand the heat. I don't see this. It's not one of the biggest games. It's not one of my most interesting games.
no, I'm not holding my breath either.
No.
Carolina has the advantage of coming off a bye week, so maybe that's the point that gives them the win. On the other hand, it's in Arizona, so Arizona.
I'll go Arizona at home, and that's enough talking about that one. San Diego at Oakland. Both teams are looking a little better than we expected, but neither of them is particularly compelling at the moment, at least to my mind. I think that the Chargers are going to take it. I think that they're getting over the hump and learning how to win games under a new regime, and they're going to actually stick around a lot longer this season than anybody expected. But it could be a pretty close game, depending on quarterback play for Oakland, of course.
Exactly. I think if Price shows up to play and he's allowed to move around and run with the ball a little bit, and Oakland steps up their defense a little bit, I don't see Oakland losing at home. I see San Diego losing this game.
Well, I'll go with Philip Rivers because he's had a good year until now, and this might continue. And I'd hope so because I have sympathies for the Chargers, and I'll go San Diego here.
Okay. Denver at Dallas. Denver at Dallas. Do the Cowboys find a way to finally slow the big orange machine with Peyton at its head?
Well, they might slow him down in the first half, as other teams also have done, but come second half, come Peyton Manning and 28 points, so it's going to be Denver here.
Yeah, I see Manning going in there the first half, kind of seeing what kind of defense they're setting up, et cetera, et cetera. And come around the third quarter, I'm totally on your side on this one, Martin. I don't see Dallas even coming close on this one.
I can't tell you how much I want to call for the upset at home here. Boy, it would be nice. And, if I could see these NFC East teams beat anybody outside of their own division, I'm not counting an Oakland win, but, in general, I can't do it. No, it's going to be Denver. It probably won't be close. That's just how it is this year. Houston at San Francisco in the evening game. A pretty exciting matchup again, one would think, but both of these teams have disappointed a little bit.
Exactly. This one is like you said before. If it was a tie, if we could call it a tie, we'd call it a tie. I think this game will come down to Kaepernick. Is he mobile? Can he run the ball? But he's also playing against one of the best defenses in the NFL. Houston's got is licking some wounds right now because they just lost to the 49ers rivals. They're the Seahawks. Boy, this is a close one. I think I'm going to have to give it to the 49ers only because they're playing at home, but I think it'll be a defensive win and not an offensive win. I think it'll come down to a turnover, something late in the fourth quarter, game over.
For me, it depends a lot on which 49ers offense shows up this week.
Exactly,
if we see
yes.
the 49ers offense from week 1, especially against the Packers at home, or if we see the one from week 3, a game I also don't remember very well.
I got it on tape.
It's thanks. I think my TV is broken. No, it's gonna be a home game for San Francisco, and they had a Thursday night game last week, so they have 3 extra days to rest, and
Yeah, that's a good
what's given them the advantage to win this one in my eyes.
I'm sorry, I didn't actually make a call here. Houston, San Francisco at home. They're gonna take it. Monday night, one of those games that you look at the schedule and you aren't really sure how it got on there. The Jets at Atlanta. One team that's overachieving so far, I think, with 2 wins. One team that's obviously underachieving in Atlanta. I think the Falcons are going to hold on and finally start to get some momentum and get back into the playoff hunt with a solid home win over the Jets. What do you guys
I'm
think?
totally understand. Matty Ice coming off a tough loss against the Patriots. I see him just lighting up the top. I see him 4 touchdowns against the Jets. The Jets secondary isn't playing all top-notch football at the moment, and I think Matty Ice is just going to pick them apart.
Joel, when you said there is one team that is overachieving, I actually thought you were talking about the Jets because they got a win already, which I wouldn't have expected.
I was. They got 2 wins. That's
They got 2 wins,
overachieving.
yeah.
Yes, they are.
Actually, yes,
Yeah.
they've got 2 already. No, it's not going to be close. This is not going to be close. Tony Gonzalez is going to fire up Matty Ice to put him to the Super Bowl. So they got to start winning now.
Yeah.
And they got to start winning against teams like the Jets, where there can't be any question as the favorite in this game. And it's going to be a home win for Atlanta.
Okay. Well, I think that wraps us up with all of our predictions and our discussions for this week on Touchdown. Tune in next week for more compelling football talk coming here at a Cafe Grande Moodling, and we'll see you then.
See you next week.
Bye.